Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back into another edition of Keytime Sports. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to Keytime Sports right here on YouTube, Key City Sports on Instagram, and the keyonmillions.co. Here is my profile so that you will know it's me. Here is my media feed so that you can look at all of my segments, clips, and sound bites. And here is my merchandise. Now, we will be having new merchandise rolled out at the end of this month and for the rest of this year. So now let me get to the games that were meaningful last night. And the first game that was meaningful is the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Boston has now become the best team in the East. No matter what y'all see with the records and the standings, the Boston Celtics have won 8 of their last 10 games, and Detroit has been 500 in their last 10 games. Now, I've been saying that the Boston Celtics, before Jason Tatum came back, was the best team in the East. And I said that even before when the Knicks were ahead of them and when other teams were ahead of the Boston Celtics. Well, when we look at the Boston Celtics, Jason Tatum, this is only his second game back. He was 6 of 16 yesterday in the game versus the Cleveland Cavaliers, 2 of 9 from the three-point line. He scored 20 points in 27 minutes. I said with Jason Tatum coming back, 20 to 25 minutes would be his maximum, and he's playing right around that. Sam Hauser, 15 points, 24 minutes. Namas Quetta, 4 points in 36 minutes, but he did have 11 rebounds, so he did contribute when it came to rebounding. Derek White, 6 points, 36 minutes. He really didn't. He contribute with 7 rebounds. Jaylen Brown, 23 points in 38 minutes, and he contribute with 9 rebounds. And it was pretty much Boston starting out the game. They were down, I believe, 13-3 at one point early in the first quarter, and it seemed like since that point in the game, it was just a complete 180. Now, the lead it got up to like 18 for the Boston Celtics. It did. As we can see, bench production for the Celtics. Luke Garza, 7 points in 12 minutes. Peyton Pritchard, 18 points in 35 minutes. Baylor Shearman, 16 points in 26 minutes. Hugo Gonzalez, 0 points in 7 minutes, and he had 1 rebound. Amari Williams, Ron Harper Jr., and Jordan Walsh did not play because of coach's decision. Now for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Starters, Dean Wade, 21 minutes, 7 points. Evan Mobley, 24 points, 31 minutes. James Harden, 19 points, 38 minutes. Donovan Mitchell, he had a little bit of an injury, a groin injury. He had 30 points in 33 minutes. Sam Morelli, 29 minutes, 5 points. Bench production for the Cleveland Cavaliers, Thomas Bryant, 3 points in 14 minutes. Dennis Schroeder, 2 points in 20 minutes. Jalen Tyson, 8 points in 25 minutes. Craig Porter Jr., 4 minutes, 0 points. Keon Ellis, 24 minutes, 0 points. Larry Nance Jr., Tristan Urama, Naquan Tomlin, Riley Minix did not play because of coach's decision. Now, here's one thing when we talk about the Boston Celtics, we all know that they are led by Jason Tatum, but before Jason Tatum came back, Jaylen Brown was in the fold. Now, here's one thing that I just want to say. Both of these players, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, They both played with each other throughout the entirety of their careers. So why is it that people in the media are saying, well, we know that possibly the Celtics are much better with Jaylen Brown on the floor and Jason Tatum not coming back, or vice versa? They won a championship together. Both of these players, they are spitting images of each other when it comes to both of their playing styles. So please, anybody in the media that is trying to, mess up the team camaraderie, team charisma, please do not do this. Do not do this, because we are looking at two of the greatest efficient scorers in the NBA, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and the Boston Celtics are unstoppable with both of them when they are fully healthy. When they are fully healthy. So now, team statistics. Yesterday afternoon when this game was played, the Boston Celtics 3-point shooting, 15 of 38, 39% from the 3-point line, 13 of 45 for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Pretty much offensive rebounds was pretty much deadlocked at 10. Defensive rebounds +7 for the Boston Celtics. Assists +2 for Boston. Steals +2 for Cleveland. Blocks +6 for Cleveland. Total turnovers, Boston had 12. Cleveland had 9. Fast break points, 2 to 18 in favor of Cleveland. Points in the paint, 38 for the Cleveland Cavaliers, 32 for the Boston Celtics. Largest lead of this game was 26 for the Boston Celtics, and largest lead was 8 for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And that was earlier on in the game. And as far as the Boston Celtics, they led 87% of this game, while the Cavaliers only led for that 11% in the first quarter. Now, let's look at a few clips of this game. Now, there was a few moments in this game where I was looking at this, like, especially in the third quarter when the Cavs were down by 16 and got to the hole. Donovan Mitchell got to the hole. He got the shot for a 3-point shot. And it just seems like that as far as the Cavaliers on defending, they weren't able to defend like they should in order to get back in the game. Now, they did cut it to 10 multiple times in this game. But as you can see, Jaylen Brown, one of the most efficient scorers in the NBA this season, he got the foul and he made the free throw. And it just seems like that the Cleveland Cavaliers, they were going uphill. As you can see right here, wide open shot, back down to 12. But they could never get a defensive rebound. And as you can see right here, Peyton Pritchard, he had a good game and he had some valuable minutes coming off of the floor. As you can see right here, Peyton Pritchard. Sam Hauser, he also had some valuable minutes. And we get down to the last few minutes of the third. Here's Sam Hauser, for 3 for one of his 12 points in the game. And this was pretty much the fourth quarter is really where things got really tight. Under 6 minutes left, and the Cavaliers, they got it down to 8 at one point in this game. And there it is. They got it down to 8. But the Celtics, they are a resilient bunch. They couldn't get nothing going in the final few minutes. But here's Peyton Pritchard for a shot, and I mean, he was on the ball. Here's another one. He shot it over Harden, and I mean, that was a good shot and nothing. And I do mean nothing. There's the alley-oop slam. And we get down to the final 2 minutes, and this is pretty much all she wrote. Jason Tatum comes back, scores 20 points. He is back. He hasn't lost a step. Now, one thing that I want to say is that the Celtics, they going to build off of this. They are going to build off of this. And the Celtics, like I've been saying, for the better part of the last 6 weeks, the Celtics are the best team in the Eastern Conference. And any day now, we are going to see the Boston Celtics have the best record in the East, because the Detroit Pistons, they are starting to hit that cold spell, and they've lost 4 straight games since the start of March. They've lost 4 straight games. Now we get to the point where you only have 18 games left, 18 or 20 so games left in the season, and this is the wrong time for a team like Detroit to start losing their grip. Because right now, the Celtics are only 2.5 games back, and the Celtics, they play the Spurs, and they play the Thunder again. I don't know if it's in that order, but if the Celtics can somehow win over the Spurs and go on a winning streak of about, I would say, 10 or 12, Boston would completely have the East sold up, and that would look bad for Detroit, because for 89% of the season, Detroit, I've started this since the NBA season started. We've looked at these records, and Detroit has always been tops in the East. Now it seems like that the Detroit Pistons, they may be second in the East, and while they still may have home court advantage, everybody is not going to be coming to their arena for the Eastern Conference playoffs. It will be Boston, because what I see is, like I've been saying over the past few weeks, Celtics have an experienced bunch. Detroit, they still new at this. New York Knicks, they are hit and miss. Cleveland, they are hit and miss after you saw what just happened yesterday. Toronto is still young. Orlando is still young. Miami, hit and miss. The 76ers, it all hinges on Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid for the for the Philadelphia 76ers. Atlanta Hawks and Charlotte Hornets, they are just happy that they are in the play-in tournament conversation. So all in all, it was a very, very entertaining game for the Celtics and the Cavaliers. The next game I am going to cover is the Los Angeles Lakers and the New York Knicks. I was just talking about the New York Knicks a few seconds ago, so let's talk about them. Let's see. So, New York Knicks yesterday versus the Los Angeles Lakers. OG Anunoby, 13 points in 38 minutes. Karl Anthony Towns, 25 points in 34 minutes. Josh Hart, 8 points in 22 minutes. Mikal Bridges, 0 points in 27 minutes. He had a tough game. He only had 6 shots, and that is, he was very inefficient, and he didn't get many shot attempts. Jalen Brunson, 24 points, 42 minutes. Bench production for the Knicks. Mohamed Dwaria, 4 points in 15 minutes. Mitchell Robinson, 4 points in 17 minutes. Jordan Clarkson, 10 minutes and 9 points. Landry Shamet, 10 points in 27 minutes. Jose Alvarado, 0 points in 7 minutes. Jeremy Sloan, Pacome Dadet, Ariel Hakaporti, Kevin McCullough Jr., Tyler Kolek did not play because of coach's decision. For the Los Angeles Lakers, LeBron James was not playing in this game. Rui Hachimura, 13 points in 37 minutes. DeAndre Ayton, 6 points in 20 minutes. Marcus Smart, 5 points in 29 minutes. Luka Doncic, 35 points in 38 minutes. He was very efficient. Austin Reeves, 25 points in 39 minutes. Bench production, Max Kleber, 0 points in 10 minutes. Jared Vanderbilt, 3 points in 10 minutes. Jake LaRivia, 6 points in 13 minutes. Jackson Hayes, 5 points in 17 minutes. Luke Kennard, 12 points in 27 minutes. Drew Timme, Dalton Knecht, Kobe Buffkin did not play because of coach's decision. As far as the Lakers and the New York Knicks, they are in the same boat when it comes to their team and how far do we think that they are going to make it to the playoffs. That is what everybody is asking. Do we see the Knicks going to the Eastern Conference Finals? And do we see the Lakers getting out of the first round? Because the way it looks right now is for the Los Angeles Lakers, if the playoffs start today, they would have home court advantage in the first round. And as you can see, when you look at percentage points right here between the Rockets and the Lakers, you all see that the Lakers' percentage points are much less than the Rockets. Now, the Lakers have a better percentage record, but the Lakers have more losses. So the minutia in this playoff series, the Houston Rockets, they would have home court advantage just because the Rockets have less losses on their record. Fewer losses on their record. Now we get to the Lakers. And like I've been saying throughout the entirety of the season, it all depends on what Lakers team is going to show up. Now, the Lakers team that showed up yesterday, that is the team that could possibly make it to the NBA Finals. But we all got to look at the Lakers and focus on their defense, because their defense has been up and down all season. It has been. And the way it looked, you got three of your top people who can't defend anything. LeBron, he's 41, and I don't see him. He's not the type of defender that he was 12, 13 years ago. Luka, he don't even defend. He can't defend nothing. He can't even stop a flood. If you had him to try and stop a flood, he wouldn't be able to. And Austin Reeves, we all know his nickname is Hillbilly Kobe. Hillbilly Kobe can't stop anybody. So it's all about, for the Lakers, it's all about outscoring their opponent. That's what it is. It's all about outscoring their opponent. And for the Lakers, let's just look back, watch, and see. For the New York Knicks, y'all already know how I feel about the New York Knicks. Shout out to all the New York Knicks fans out there, Spike Lee, Stephen A. Smith, Fat Joe, and all you other New York Knicks fans, because right now, if the playoffs were to start, I could see the Knicks, pulling it out versus the Orlando Magic. Now, the Orlando Magic, they are still relatively young, but here's the one thing: when it comes to the Knicks, they are going to have to face the Cleveland Cavaliers again for possibly the fourth consecutive year in the playoffs, because that 4-5 matchup, the Cavaliers and the Raptors, I got the Cavaliers winning that series. That is if both of those teams do manage to play each other in the first round. And for the Lakers versus the Houston Rockets in the first round. Now, I'm not going to give into biased takes here. It all depends on what Houston Rockets team we see, because Houston Rockets, I'm going to get into the Houston Rockets a little bit later on in the show. The Houston Rockets, they didn't look all that great last night. They played versus the Spurs, and I mean the Spurs, they just wore out the Rockets last night. They wore them out. But as far as the Lakers and Knicks are concerned, when we look at their efficiency from the 3-point line, Lakers were +7 in 3-point makes last night and +6 in free throws made. 25 of 30 for the Lakers, 19 of 21 for the New York Knicks. And that is basically what happened. And the Knicks, they never led in this game. Never. The largest lead in this game for the Lakers was 23, and they led for the entirety of this game. And now you can see a few clips from this game, and it's really just gonna be a minute highlight here. So we get to the fourth quarter, and the Knicks, they were down by 13, trying to make a run. Lakers up by 11. Luka gets to the paint, scores, up by 13 again. And as you can see, it's getting down to the last few seconds of the game. Karl Anthony Towns gets fouled, and they are up by 10. Now they are up by Luka for a 3, and that was pretty much it. And you can pretty much see where that was a quick highlight, because I got to get to this offensive shootout that we had in Texas last night between the Houston Rockets and the San Antonio Spurs. Now, everybody, I said this at the end of last season, that San Antonio would be a dark horse to make the playoffs this coming season. And now the San Antonio Spurs, with only 18 games left, the Spurs, they only need to win their next 5 games to clinch a playoff spot. But the San Antonio Spurs are going to be in the playoffs. The Houston Rockets, we got some stuff to talk about when it comes to the Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets, Kevin Durant, 23 points in 33 minutes. Jabari Smith Jr., 17 points in 31 minutes. Terry Eason, 2 points in 20 minutes. Alfred Sengun, 16 points in 27 minutes. Amen Thompson, 23 points in 36 minutes. Bench production, Jeff Green, 4 minutes, 7 points. Dorian Finney-Smith, 8 points, 21 minutes. Isaiah Crawford, 4 minutes, 0 points. Clint Capella, 2 points, 14 minutes. Aaron Holiday, 5 points, 8 minutes. Josh Okogie, 6 minutes, 0 points. Reed Shepard, 17 points in 35 minutes. Let's get to these San Antonio Spurs. Julian Champagne, 11 minutes, 29 points. Victor Wembanyama, 29 points, 30 minutes. De'Aaron Fox, 20 points, 32 minutes. Devin Vassell, 5 points, 30 minutes. Stephon Castle, 23 points, 26 minutes. Bench production, Kelly Olynyk, 4 minutes, 3 points. Lindy Waters III, 4 minutes, 3 points. Keldon Johnson, 26 minutes, 20 points. Bismack Biyombo, 4 minutes, 0 points. Luke Cornett, 14 minutes, 2 points. Jordan McLaughlin, 4 minutes, 3 points. Dylan Harper, 26 minutes, 19 points. Once we get to team statistics, very efficient, but the Spurs were more efficient than these Spurs. The Spurs were more efficient than the Rockets were. The Rockets, 48% shooting from the floor, and the Spurs, at times last night, they were shooting 60% from the floor. When have you ever heard that in a basketball game in the NBA? That means every 10 shots that you attempt, 6 of them are going in. 3-point percentage, over 50% from the 3-point line. The 3-pointer was working for the Spurs last night. Rebounds, offensive rebounds +2 for Houston. Defensive rebounds +3 for Houston. Assists +13 for the Spurs. Blocks +1 for the Spurs. Total turnovers. Houston had more turnovers than the Spurs last night. Fast break points. You didn't see many fast break points. 16-15. Points in the paint, 58-56 in favor of the Houston Rockets. Largest lead of the game, it was 30 points for the Spurs. Largest lead of the game for the Rockets was 1 point. The San Antonio Spurs are the second team in the West right now, and the Houston Rockets are the fourth team in the West, but I can see the Houston Rockets dropping and the Lakers going up at least one spot. And let's look at these highlights. Now this was a blowout too, so this highlight clip is not going to be long. It is not going to be long, so Spurs were up by 22 with under 4 minutes left in this game, and they were up by 28. And with that 3, it was pretty much 25, and the game was pretty much over. So we looked at the Spurs and the Rockets, but now let's look at the last game that is on the docket for today in this segment. But this is not all that we are going to be talking about today, because before I end, we have a lot of conversation to talk about. We got NFL free agency starting in a few hours. We also got March Madness that is starting next week, but this is the final week of the college basketball season for the men. Men's college basketball, we are entering the final week, and Selection Sunday is going to be on Sunday with all of the teams finding out who they are going to play. All of them. So, but before I get into that, let's focus on the Charlotte Hornets and the Phoenix Suns. That is still odd for me to say, because before this season, I had never covered the Charlotte Hornets ever. And now in the last 3 weeks, I've covered the Charlotte Hornets more times in the last 3 weeks than I did in the previous 3 years. So the Charlotte Hornets are worth me talking about. So Charlotte Hornets last night, Miles Bridges, 16 points in 29 minutes. Mazar Dabet, 2 points in 27 minutes. Brandon Miller, 11 points in 32 minutes. LaMelo Ball, 22 points in 33 minutes. Con Knuppel, 15 points in 30 minutes. Bench production, Grant Williams, 10 points in 19 minutes. Ryan Kalabrenner, 10 points in 19 minutes. Pat Covington, 0 points in 2 minutes. Kobe White, 7 points in 20 minutes. Josh Green, 3 points in 14 minutes. Trey Mann, 0 points in 2 minutes. Zion James, 3 points in 14 minutes. Phoenix Suns, Royce O'Neal, 3 points in 32 minutes. Oso Agudaro, 2 points in 28 minutes. Devin Booker, 30 points in 35 minutes. Colin Gillespie, 24 points in 36 minutes. Jalen Green, 24 points in 30 minutes. Bench production, Haywood Highsmith, 3 minutes, 3 points in 21 minutes. Ryan Dunn, 3 points in 10 minutes. Rasheer Fleming, 16 points in 23 minutes. Kamal Kamarula, 4 points in 20 minutes. Amir Coffey, 2 minutes, 2 points in 5 minutes. Isaiah Livers did not play because of coach's decision. Jamari Aboya did not play because of coach's decision. Here is the team statistics for this game. 3-point percentage, 15 of 45, 33%. 16 of 41, 39%. Rebounds, +3 for Charlotte. Defensive rebounds, +2 for the Phoenix Suns. Total turnovers, Charlotte had more turnovers than Phoenix. Fast break points, 16-10 in favor of Phoenix. Points in the paint, Charlotte +6. Largest lead of this game was 16 for the Phoenix Suns. Largest lead of the game was 8 for the Charlotte Hornets. So now, the final clips of this game. And this is going to be a quick highlight let's get right to the fourth quarter. They were up by 13. Phoenix was up by 13. Here is Brandon Miller, LaMelo Ball for 2. And it is back down to a 9-point game. Wide open 3 for the Phoenix Suns. He made it, and that was pretty much game, set, match. When we get to it, it was 111-99. And as we can see, when it comes to the Phoenix Suns, they are right there in that 7th spot. And for the Charlotte Hornets, they are right there in that 10th spot. So, all in all, it was a very, very entertaining Sunday slate for the NBA. And with that, those are my reactions to the Sunday slate in the NBA. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to Keytime Sports right here on YouTube, Key City Sports on Instagram, and the KeyOnMillions.co. Here is my merchandise. Here is my profile so that you will know it's me. And here is my media feed for all of my segments, interviews, and sound bites from previous shows. And remember, everybody, one last thing, the key is always on time.